Welcome to the Henry M. Jackson School of International Studies Virtual Spring Convocation 2021. I am Leila Fernandez, the new director of the school, having just completed my first year in these challenging times of the pandemic. Let me begin by situating our school. The Jackson School acknowledges that we are on Coast Salish territory, the traditional homelands of the Duwamish, Suquamish, Tulalip, Muckleshoot, and other indigenous peoples. The Jackson School understands that the international community includes sovereign American Indian tribes, First Nations, and indigenous peoples across the world. I am delighted to be here with you on this momentous occasion. This is the second virtual convocation of the Jackson School. As you know, the Jackson School has been educating generations of students through our interdisciplinary education for 112 years. Our school consists of 21 centers and programs that cover every region in the world, as well as global and policy studies. With this breadth and depth, the Jackson School shows how effective responses to the opportunities and challenges of our world require an understanding of global connections, historical context, and local cultural and national specificities. We seek to provide students with the skills to lead in a world shaped by the opportunities and challenges of multiculturalism, technological advances, and climate change. The class of 2021 is especially unique because of all that you have achieved in the midst of a pandemic that brought significant challenges from the smallest aspects of your daily lives to major world affairs. I can think of no better sign of the kinds of leadership and contributions you will make to the world than the fact that you have succeeded in your studies in the context of this unprecedented global pandemic. Consider the scale of your success. 158 of you have completed your BA in the Jackson School. 49 of you have completed your MA degrees. 5 of you have completed your PhDs. These numbers are a measure of your resilience, strength, and perseverance, but they only are the beginning of the story of what you have accomplished. For those of you who completed your BAs, you learned about local, national, and global issues in over 200 online courses and seminars in the Jackson School. You discussed and debated pressing global issues with over 3,400 students across the university in these classes. You successfully completed 9 task forces in our flagship Donald C. Hellman Task Force program. In these task forces, you came up with policy responses to some of our most critical societal and political challenges, including climate change and environmental justice, the effects of border security technology, human rights, the global preservation of the freedom of the press, social and political challenges in Asia, Europe, and the Middle East, and international responses to the COVID-19 pandemic. 9 of you completed honors theses on rich and varied themes, including nationalism, politics and media, diaspora, disability and discrimination, and finally, ideology and memory and culture. You engaged in the study of these themes through research on regions as varied as the United States, Jamaica, and North Korea. You figured out how to conduct urgent research without full access to your library, and you conducted original research despite all of the hurdles of the pandemic. For those of you who completed your MAs, you did so in remarkable circumstances. With the disruption of COVID, you only attended in-person courses for 1 quarter in the fall of 2019. This is an experience that is different from all of the other degrees and from every other graduating class of MA students. This makes you unique because you prevailed in your education in ways that show personal and intellectual leadership. This is apparent to me, and I'm confident that you will feel this sense of achievement as you move to your next opportunity in the new phase of your lives and careers. Your accomplishments sparkle through the remarkable range of subjects that you worked on mastering through the course of your education. These include the relationship between literature and the Soviet state, the visual images of the Cambodian nation, Greek Orthodox Christians in Syria, the partisanship of the Ukrainian diaspora in the United States, the political economy of South Korean rural areas, authoritarianism and internet policy in the Russian Federation, and representations of social uprising in South Korean cinema, and finally, white supremacy in Poland. Finally, for those of you who successfully completed the long and arduous task of finishing your PhD dissertations, you will now play key roles in teaching and working with new generations. Your work represents the best of the breadth and depth of the Jackson School, and you worked on topics including religious Zionism in Israel, knowledge production and indigenous politics in Ecuador, women's empowerment and leadership in Morocco, and electoral politics in Japan. Completing a PhD under any circumstances is a painstaking endeavor that takes both creativity and sustained discipline. Congratulations on successfully finishing this monumental task. I cannot think of a more inspiring response to the challenges we face as a world than the kinds of questions you have all asked through your research, classes, and fields of study. While the pandemic has overwhelmed us all, we have also lived through major social challenges during the past year. The Black Lives Matter movement has compelled us to persistent legacies of racial inequality and violence. We also experienced attacks against members of the Asian American Pacific Islander community and the Asian diaspora that shook us all. These destructive acts are a microcosm of inequality and violence across the world. The work that many of you have done has sought to develop alternative futures as you have grappled in thoughtful ways with cultural difference, the rights of indigenous peoples and marginalized communities, and policy solutions that promote peace and security. That you have done so in the middle of a global pandemic reflects a special kind of courage, both intellectual and personal. It is this kind of courage that we will need as we try to create a better, more inclusive and equitable society for all of us. This is my first Jackson School convocation, and you made it such a dazzling, inspiring year. As I reflect on all that you have overcome and achieved as the class of 2021, I am glad that I moved across the country in the middle of this pandemic to be here with you today. You represent the possibility of a new and hopeful future for the world. You should be really proud of yourselves. All of you, collectively, are what makes the Jackson School so special. Each year, we recognize one of our alums for a successful career and the exceptional contributions to our society. This year, we are recognizing Anna Muender Chaba. 7 years ago, Anna was where you are today, graduating from the Jackson School in Seattle's international atmosphere. A first-generation American, born and raised in Seattle, and equipped with the Jackson School International Studies major toolkit of languages, critical thinking and writing, and a passion for global issues, she went out into the world. Anna earned a master's degree at Columbia University School of International and Public Affairs as a Charles B. Rangel International Affairs Graduate Fellow. She pursued and secured DC assignments from serving in internships and fellowships, such as in a Washington State Congressional Representative's Office and the United Nations Information Center, to assisting in an orphanage in Nairobi. Through her commitment to public service, she landed where she wanted to be and where she is today, an accomplished Foreign Service officer representing the United States at home and abroad in public diplomacy, a role that does a lot of cultural exchange programs around the world. Already, she has served in Mauritius and India, and is currently learning Arabic for her next posting in Jerusalem, adding to her extensive knowledge of Kiswahili, French, and Hindi. Anna is a model of the potential that comes with a degree in international studies. She was able to convert her commitments to public service and international work into a successful and meaningful career. It is my great honor to introduce you to Anna Muender Chaba, the Jackson School's Distinguished Alum Award 2021 recipient.
I'm honored to be speaking with you all as the Distinguished Alumni Speaker for the University of Washington's Jackson School of International Studies graduating class of 2021. And to be honest, and in the spirit of transparency and vulnerability, I honestly had no idea what I wanted to say for this speech. I was really surprised to find out that the Jackson School wanted me to speak to you all. And every time I thought about what I wanted to say, I actually kind of felt, like some pangs of anxiety because when I thought of presenting myself in front of this aspiring, accomplished, hopeful, and dreaming group of students just on the horizon of beginning your beautiful stories, outside of the classrooms, I was really anxious and I wasn't really sure, like, what should I tell you guys? What's the best thing to say? And in reflecting on my own journey from graduating 7 years ago until today, I guess I'd just like to share a bit of my story with you all and 3 things that I wish I knew when I graduated. So, to give a little bit of my story, I was actually selected to be the student speaker for the Jackson School commencement back in 2014 when I graduated. And I don't really remember exactly what I said in that speech, but I do remember finishing off my speech with some catchy line from a Drake song that was really popular at that time, and some really inspirational words reminding my classmates that we were more ready than we could have ever imagined to tackle this world. And I really believed those words. I really was inspired and really excited to finally start tackling all the issues that we had spent 4 years learning about. And the picture, my vision, my goals, and my hope, it was all so clear. And it felt like I was on the beginning of something really amazing. But I didn't necessarily know how exactly I was going to solve those problems. And I wasn't sure when I was graduating what my career path would be and what was meant for me. At that time, I had managed to get a paid internship with the US Department of State. And at the time of graduation, I had actually already been working for 1 week in Washington, D.C., starting to learn about the Foreign Service and what exactly it did. And I flew back to Seattle just for the weekend to walk across the stage and celebrate graduation with my family. And I just remember feeling really blessed and grateful, but also feeling a lot of uncertainty because my internship was ending in August of that summer. And I had no idea what I would be doing after that, let alone what city I would be living in or how I would be feeding myself, what would be my source of income. And all of that is just to say that I was very hopeful, but at the same time, I had a lot of questions that I had absolutely no answers to. And I was anxious and I was freaking out about a lot of things. But one thing that I was certain of was that the world was my oyster. And my only problem was actually that I had too many options, which many of you may be feeling right now. And I think in the grand scheme of things, that's a good issue to have, having absolutely all the choices at your hands. And I felt like I could choose whatever city that I wanted to start applying for jobs in, and I could tutor on the side and earn money in the case that I had to do an unpaid internship. So this just leads me to the first thing that I wish I knew when I was sitting in your position, is that I was capable of achieving the things that I wanted to. And you should believe in yourself. It sounds really cliche, but I guess the more that you think about it, you are very capable of achieving the things that you want to. And if you believe in God or in a force that's greater than yourself, then you just have to ask yourself, is that force good? And if it is, then you know then eventually everything is going to be okay. So believing in yourself is a start, but in terms of coping, it's not always, you can't always believe in yourself. Sometimes you fall down. Sometimes the stress of finding a job and the stress of building a life and getting to know your purpose, it can be overwhelming. And back then I applied to way more jobs and positions than I got callbacks on. And I was rejected from many, many places, many more than wanted to give me interviews. And I really, when I look back on it, thanked God for my mom and my family reminding me that I could always come home, which is the second thing that I wish I knew when I was sitting at my graduation, that I have support. And even if it's not your mom, if you feel any sense of support, whether it's from friends or family, a mentor, just remember that source and remember that you're not alone in this and that you do have sources of support around you. So today, at this point in my life, I do feel like I have a very stable career that I'm grateful for, even though being a Foreign Service officer requires that I have to build a home in an unknown place every 2 to 3 years. I still feel a real sense of certainty and stability. And looking back on it all, I think the third and most important thing that I wish I knew when I was graduating is that it's not black and white, and it never really becomes simple. In other words, even when you found your purpose and your mind is finally able to experience a sense of peace in your career, there's still challenges to be experienced, and there's still compromises that are going to have to be made. And I've ultimately had to ask myself multiple times since graduation until now, what's the potential for good and for peace, for love and fulfillment in the decision that I'm about to make? And does it outweigh the negative? What is my net effect? And because I think what we've seen, especially in today's world with social media and like everything in the world at the tip of our fingers, is that even the most well-researched and the most well-intentioned and the most woke and sensitive gestures and decisions, they do have a negative impact somewhere and somehow. And it's only really ignorance that can delude one into thinking that there's any particular choice or career or action that has absolutely no negative effects. No matter what you do or whatever you're involved in, there will be challenges and there will be compromises. And this is a hard fact to accept. It took me a really long time to come to that understanding, but I think it's a truth that the sooner you accept that, the more at peace you'll be. And I'm saying this based off of my own experiences, of course, working with the State Department. I worked with the United Nations. I've worked with a children's organization in Nairobi. I started my own social entrepreneurship. So I have a really wide range of experiences, but I'm also saying this based off of lots and lots of conversations that I've had with friends and colleagues since I've started working. And it's just the fact that if you can accept your challenges and recognize that they're there for a reason, then you can grow from them. And I wish when I was in school that I was told more that challenges are not, they don't have to be judged as bad. And compromises and the things that we call negative, the experiences that we call negative, they have a reason too. So ultimately, weigh your net impact, weigh your net effect. And I'm not saying that you should stay in any type of situation or work environment that's toxic and unhealthy. If you weigh your net impact and it's ultimately negative, then it's okay to move on and it's smart to move on. But if you feel that you have a net positive impact, then accept the challenges. And don't expect things to be perfect. Don't search endlessly for some romanticized utopian place, because I don't know if that really exists in the sense that we've been led to believe. And if you can embrace your challenges as much as you embrace the positive moments in your life, then you can experience balance. And I think at the end, it all comes back to having a sense of balance. So to just wrap up my thoughts, I'd just like to wish you all a sense of hope, a sense of strength and support, and a sense of balance. And ultimately, I'd like to finish by saying congratulations to you all, and I wish you all the best with your futures.
Thanks to Anna Moender Chaba for these inspiring words. I am now pleased to introduce Professor Rajat Kasaba, who will recognize Afsaneh Haddadian, who is receiving her PhD in International Studies.
So I am very pleased to congratulate Afsaneh Haddadian. She is completing her studies in the Jackson School. I have had the pleasure of working with her over the time that she has been part of our community. In this time, she had to deal with a number of adversities. Perhaps the most important one was a travel ban, which made it very difficult for her actually to complete her research. But she persevered. Those of us who know Afsaneh know that she is really dedicated to her studies and to her research. She has completed a research and a dissertation on women's position in local organizations, community organizations in Morocco in the early 2000s. This research contains a lot of firsthand information, which Afsaneh collected during her fieldwork in that country. As those of us who've read her work know, that this is an important part of a piece of scholarship, and anybody who has access to this in the future will learn a lot about Morocco and about women's status in that country. It's my pleasure to congratulate Afsaneh and wish her good luck in all future endeavors.
Afsaneh Jafari Haddadian.
I am now pleased to introduce Professor James Wellman, who will recognize Chaim Katzman, who is receiving a PhD in International Studies.
Hi, I'm Jim Wellman. I'm the chair of the Comparative Religion program in the Jackson School of International Studies. I'm here to honor Chaim Katzman, who's graduating in his PhD in Religions, Cultures, and Civilization. Chaim has been an amazing student with us. His PhD dissertation were 3 articles that covered the understanding of Jewish Zionism within Israel. Many are concerned that this is a conservative political movement, and importantly, I think what Chaim found is that it is not necessarily a conservative political movement in Israel. In fact, it has multiple trends. And so this finding, I think, is critical for future scholarship in the study of religion within Israel. The second thing I think is important about Chaim is that he is an amazing teacher. I've been able to see him in the classroom as he interacts with my students. His understanding of religion and the study of it is profound. He knows how to communicate difficult issues and complex terms. But the third thing, and most important, I think, to me, is that he's my friend. I was able to go to Israel right before COVID. We met in southern Israel in his kibbutz. He introduced me to his many diverse friends. We got together and enjoyed each other and were able to share what it means to live in Israel today, which is complex, but these were people of great character and wonderful humor, and it just enjoyed them. Chaim is a wonderful person, and I want to congratulate him and look forward to his working with him in the future.
Chaim Katzman.
I am now pleased to introduce the students who are receiving Master of Arts degrees in International Studies.
Andrew Wayne Boyk. Sandra Paola Bonecki Gonzalez. Susan Hendricks Bourne. Jonathan C. Hall. Rondi Hedin. Stephen Johnson. Jessica Mary Kitchell. Joshua Richard Newman, Jacob Richard, Diane June Shelley, Adriana Velasco, Alexander Robert Bellier, Joshua Paul Bender, Amarika Dodd, Julie Elizabeth Emery, Jessica Farage, He Hung Yu, Owen Harris, Benjamin Kinney Harris, Jessica Shelby House, Jennifer Joy, Anastasia Karitanova Gomez, Mahom Nasser, Ian Oates, Caitlin Sherman, James Valadez, Miriam Woitas, Wesley Hitomo Yi.
Congratulations to all master's degree recipients. The Graduate Book Award is a prize of $500 awarded every year to the graduating master's student with the highest cumulative GPA. This year, the award will go to Jessica Fervoge, who is graduating with a master's degree in Japan Studies with a cumulative GPA of 4.0. Each year, we select one of our graduating seniors as the recipient of the Jackson School Leadership Award. To receive this award, the student has to have distinguished themselves not only by maintaining an excellent academic record, but also by setting an example for fellow students through involvement in projects that help community and inspire peers. The students who are considered for this award are nominated by the professors. Then, in addition to submitting an application, they are interviewed by a faculty committee. The recipient is recognized at the convocation and gets a stipend of $5,000. We have a tie this year, and each will receive the $5,000 stipend. The two recipients of the Jackson School Leadership Award 2021 are Clara Coyote, a double major in International Studies and Germanics with a focus on human rights, and Arwa Mokdad, an International Studies major with a focus on human rights. Both achieved academic excellence. They each served in leadership roles, both within the University of Washington and outside in the real world, in local and global communities. They both have challenged the world to better understand the nuances of some of the most pressing and highly sensitive political, economic, and cultural issues of our times. Both engaged extensively in critical community service and served in university affairs. They completed internships in nonprofit organizations and in local and national legislature, supporting initiatives for members of the Congress and Senate.
Hello, International Studies graduates, and all those who have joined us to celebrate today. We, the class of 2021, will always be defined by the impact of the pandemic era. The University of Washington became the first major US university to shut down due to COVID-19, and the class of 21 is graduating right before classrooms are set to open up again. The pandemic permeated our UW careers and surrounded us in loss. Loss of opportunities, stability, community, and losses of loved ones themselves. I myself said goodbye to my grandmother and uncle. Thus, this graduation is so much more than a testament to our growth through learning. It is a testament to our survival and perseverance amid a period of senseless pain we have yet to fully understand. For this, I wish all of us safety, rest, and a chance to reflect. The pandemic era also laid bare, in real time, the truths we as international studies students spent our academic careers articulating. that capitalism does not care for human life, and as millions lost their livelihoods and lives, billionaires lined their wallets with trillions in stolen profits. That the greed of wealthy Western nations, poignantly symbolized in exclusive vaccine patents, threatens human rights globally, and that white supremacy, drawn into focus so powerfully by the movement for Black lives, is foundational to American nationhood and US institutions, including our own. In fact, our degrees will bear the name of US Senator Henry M. Jackson, responsible in part for Japanese American internment, and the name of a US President, George Washington, who enslaved, kidnapped Africans and murdered Indigenous people. Our international studies education ensures that we know the stakes of this history we've lived, and we know the stakes of the history we've inherited. Now is the time we turn our knowledge into action. We will let these pandemic era years define us. We will be defined not by bitterness, but by love for justice, not by isolation, but by desire for community building, not by despair, but by the unstoppable belief that a better world is possible. I know I speak for all of us when I say thank you to every mentor, teacher, caregiver, and friend who allowed us to reach this moment. We are here because of you. And now, together, for the first time in a long time, let's celebrate, because it's been one hell of a journey. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you. This Islamic reading is partly to please my mother. Hi, Mom. But I think we all need a little peace nowadays. After a year of online courses, we definitely deserve it. This past year has been tough. We have experienced a global pandemic and with it devastating tragedies. People have lost their loved ones and livelihoods amid the general breakdown of our social fabric. But we weren't exactly thriving prior to COVID. We are facing eminent global challenges, the rise of right-wing nationalism across the world, climate change and the ensuing battle for global resources, and unending conflicts in many regions of the world. These problems will continue to impact all of our lives. COVID has taught us that our world is interconnected. We are not isolated states, no matter our wealth or power. To address global challenges, we need global solutions. And the Henry M. Jackson School of International Studies has prepared us to pursue solutions that transcend borders. For many of us, the Jackson School has opened up global opportunities to encounter these international challenges. During my time at UW, I studied abroad 3 times, all with the encouragement of the Jackson School. Working alongside fellow JASIS students, as well as students from around the world, has furthered my interest in international cooperation and cross-cultural exchanges, especially in the Middle East. Studying between the US and Middle East has allowed me to understand the importance of multiple viewpoints on bilateral, regional, and global issues. This has helped me develop a nuanced perspective on the region that provides valuable insights on varying interests and groups within the Middle East and abroad. At the time of COVID, these connections and interactions look different though, and not always in a good way. Right now the world feels bleak, but my peers, all of you, have given me hope for the future of our world. While I spent courses studying oppressive structures and systems, I was never studying these problems alone. The people in my courses, both peers and instructors, were in the same room for a reason. They were equally passionate about addressing inequalities and injustices in our global order. I hold no illusion that a utopia is on the horizon, but things can get better. Every day I'm inspired by the efforts of activists, advocates, and students around the world who continue to invest energy into crucial causes, from political freedom to corporate accountability, despite significant barriers. My time at UW did not turn me into an optimist, but it did provide me with tools to pursue the change I want to see in the world, an experience that we all share. So my greeting of peace was less a nicety and more a call to action. Yes, I wish all of you peace, but I call on all of you to take the necessary steps to achieve it. There's no one road to peace, whether it be organizing protest or championing equitable hiring practices in your own workplace. We can all make a difference. We can all pursue peace and justice. As we look towards our futures, I do so with joy. I cannot wait to witness all the amazing ways the class of 2021 changes the world. So, congratulations, class of 2021, and assalamu alaikum.
Congratulations to both of the Jackson Leadership Award 2021 recipients. The Donald C. and Marjorie S. Hellman Scholar Award provides a $5,000 stipend to support the education and training of a Jackson School undergraduate major in their junior year with demonstrated excellence in international studies, clear interest in a career in international affairs, and with a strong and creative commitment to promoting the international public good. The recipient of the 2021 Donald C. and Marjorie S. Hellman Scholar Award is Arwa Makta. The Undergraduate Book Award is a prize of $500 awarded every year to the graduating bachelor student with the highest cumulative GPA. This year, the award will go to Arwa Makdad, who is graduating with a bachelor's degree in international studies and who graduated with a cumulative GPA of 3.98. In most years, we select one of the theses that are written for the Jackson School Honors Program and designated for high honors. This year's recipient, which comes with a $500 prize, is Maya Green. Her thesis title is Covering Just Cause, U.S. Media and the 1989 Invasion of Panama. This year, we also have one honorable mention for Camille Monroe, whose thesis title is The Effects of Neoliberalism on Disability Inclusive Development and Obstruction of Progress in Jamaica. Several of our students were also recognized with university nationwide awards this year. I would like to mention two of them here. Sophia Moser was selected for a Fulbright Fellowship in Brazil. One of our graduating students is also included among the Husky 100. These are 100 students from all three campuses, selected by the University of Washington administration from among thousands of students. They are recognized for having made the most of their college experience. This year, Clara Coyote has been named to the Husky 100 list. I am now pleased to introduce the students who are receiving Bachelor of Arts degrees in International Studies.
Thomas Adrian, Sundus Ahmed, Sophia Asumanaki, Emily Rose Asplin, Serena Bosserman, Elizabeth A. Benson, Jacob Michael Bromling, Shen-Fu Chang, Miranda Chang, Xin Yi Chen, Maya Chen, Yu Chun Chen, Si Yuan Cheng, Rachel Yunsong Cho, Colin Chung, Miley Chung, Tyler Jacob Jinwoo Chung, Madeline Jo Cole, Clara Rose Coyote, Daisy Jane Darling, Rachel Demery, Hannah Mary Elzig, Ryan Forrester, Chika Fukuhara, Isabel Gates, Yogasai Gasula, Julia G, Maya Green, Tristan Alexander Gutbetzal, Cara Haney, Elizabeth Hanks. Amanda Kirsten Harder. Natalie Ann Hurt. Robert Hong. Lucille Holmes Anderson. Jason Hurwitz. Andrew J. Ward. Yojin Ju. Nicola Calderash. Madison Rose Kieran. William Michael Ochea Kelly. Madeline Marie Kessie. Alexis Lorene Kinzer. Kana Kitahama. Ua Kwai. Tony Kwong. Esther Lee. Fen Yun Lee. Ke Shin Lin. Yi Shia Lo. Kendrick Yu Liu. Orlando Lugo. Hannah Ulrika Cecilia London. Soraya Morashi. Hannah Martin. Elizabeth Ann McInnes. Mahalit Mesfin. Isabel Rose Metzges. Ottawa Mokdad. John O. Monahan. Sophia Phelan Moser. Camille Monroe. Olivia Nicholas. Katie Patnod. Lindsay Patterson. Epel Peng. Adeline Catherine Perkins. Casey Prue. Yumeng Chu. Gabriela Angelina Rohani. Sun Ik Ru. Sue One Ashley Rowe. Brenton Riddle. Juliette Romano Olson. Genevieve Rubinelli. Sierra Rose Schonberg. Remington Alexander Scoville. Shada Sha'at. Kritika Sharma. June Wu Shi. Mariama Sidibe. Nathaniel Sigmund. Roshni Sinha. Annika Suter. Rachel Sun. Melissa Irene Suo. Claire Tanaka. Janie Elizabeth Troll. Solange Ulam Ernuk. Shuijiao Wong. Christian Whitaker. Yi Yue Wu, Michelle Fong Wu, Benjamin Akita Yamada, Jiashan Yi, Chan Yuan Yu, Taylor Zachary, Jacqueline Zhang, Linda Ronghua Zhang, Shuo Zhang, Shuyang Zong.
Congratulations to all our graduating undergraduate students. Every year, the Jackson School Student Association awards a Student Service Award for an outstanding staff or faculty member at the school who shows outstanding dedication to student learning and community. The current Jackson School Student Association President, Janny Wang, will present the recipient of this year's Student Service Award.
So, hi everyone, this is Janny Wang. I'm the president for Jackson School Student Association this year. So firstly, I would like to congratulate everyone on completing such a big step in your life. So Jackson School Student Association is the undergrad student body at Jackson School aiming to provide relevant programming and social opportunities for international study majors and minors. So each year, JASA presents a Student Service Award for an outstanding staff or faculty member nominated by students at Jackson School who show dedication to students, learning, and community. So with that being said, I'm honored to present the recipient for the award this year, Professor Lucero. Core for a student, Professor Lucero's commitment to student learning and fostering conversation is something I found very remarkable. And he has done an outstanding job adapting to online environment and maintaining an engagement with students. He's such an engaging professor and is very passionate not only about international studies, but his student success as well. We are very deeply inspired by the work Professor Lucero has done. Thank you so much for all the efforts and congratulations.
I'm so honored to be the 2021 Student Service Award winner. This has been a really hard year, and the fact that I've done anything right is actually a little bit unbelievable. So I'm really grateful for the recognition. I'm really grateful, Jenny, for all the kind words that you just shared, and I'm really grateful to so many people. When I came to the University of Washington in 2008, I instantly fell in love with the place. After a year, I was convinced that this is the best job I ever had. Definitely better than the summer I spent delivering country fried steak to the greater El Paso metropolitan area, better than the summer I spent working for my congressman's campaign and then working in Washington, D.C., and even better than being a camp counselor, although the job has some resemblances to the current one I occupy right now. I'm really grateful to my family for their support and for their love. My son Toño is always a source of inspiration and humor. My wife Maria Elena is a role model to me in so many ways. And I'm also thankful to my colleagues who make working here such a joy. And of course, finally, I need to thank JASA again for all the terrific work they've done and for this special recognition. But I should congratulate you all because today is your day. I want to congratulate all the graduates, all the family, all the friends who are here tonight, and congratulate the entire class of 2021. Thank you so much.
This concludes the Jackson School of International Studies Spring Convocation 2021. Thank you for joining us today in this virtual celebration, wherever you are watching from in the world. Please stay in touch and tell us what you're up to. Remember that the class of 2021 receives a free one-year University of Washington Alumni Association membership. Congratulations, Jackson School class of 2021.
you.